Listen, I'm sitting in my SUV in a Walmart parking lot in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. My hands, they won't stop shaking. I mean, you think you know the person sleeping next to you, right? You think you know their soul. I've been married to Grant for 5 years. 5 years of I love yous and I've got your back, Jess. But 10 minutes ago, I saw a ghost. I'm 3 states away from our home in Chicago. I was just passing through. I stopped for a black coffee at this grease trap diner. The woman who poured it, she had the same birthmark on her wrist, the same way of tilting her head. It was Grant's mother, Evelyn. The woman he told me died in a house fire the year before we met. He cried on her grave every anniversary, you guys. I've seen the headstone in Illinois. I've seen the charred photos. I I don't know who I'm married to. Listen, I need to know. Where are you guys joining from? I'm in North Platte, Nebraska, and I feel like the sky is falling. Drop your location in the comments, please. I just need to feel like I'm not the only person left on Earth right now. I looked her in the eye. I said, Evelyn? And she froze. The coffee pot almost slipped. She looked at me like I was the ghost, not the other way around. She whispered, You shouldn't be here, Jessica. He'll know. Grant always knows. He'll know? My husband? The man who's currently at a business conference in Denver? I mean, Grant is an architect. He builds skyscrapers. He doesn't keep his dead mother in a diner, right? I'm going back in there. I have to. If this recording ends abruptly, just look at Grant. Let me back up. I need to walk you through how Grant built this life for us. I mean, he's a genius. Everyone in Chicago knows his name. When we met, I was just a freelance graphic designer. He swept me off my feet at a gallery opening. He was so gentle. He told me early on he was an orphan. Just me against the world, Jess, he'd say. It made me want to protect him. He told me his mother died in a tragic fire. No siblings, no cousins, just Grant. I gave him a family. My parents treated him like the son they never had. But looking back, there were signs. Like the work phone. He had this second phone he said was for high security clients. It was always locked in a biometric safe. And the office, he has a basement office in our new house that I'm never allowed in. Not because he's mean, but because he says it's structurally unsafe while the renovations are happening. He's so protective, especially now that I'm 6 months pregnant. Wait, I just realized something. If Evelyn is alive, then whose body is in that grave in Chicago? Who did Grant bury 5 years ago? I'm looking at his Instagram right now. He just posted a photo from Denver. Missing my beautiful wife, it says. But the reflection in his sunglasses in that photo, it's not a hotel in Denver. It looks like a gas station. A gas station with a Nebraska state flag. He's not in Denver. He's here. He's tracking me. I slipped back into the diner through the kitchen door. I mean, I'm not a detective, but I felt this primal need to know. I followed Evelyn to the employee break room. She was sitting on a plastic crate, holding a phone that looked way too expensive for a waitress in a diner like this. She picked it up on the first ring. She didn't say hello. She just said, He's coming, isn't he? I held my breath. I could hear a faint voice on the other end. It was deep. It was smooth. It was Grant. She saw you, didn't she, Ma? He said. His voice sounded different, colder. Evelyn was sobbing. I did what you asked. I stayed dead. I stayed away. Just don't hurt the girl. She's pregnant, Grant. Please. My blood turned to ice. The girl? She meant me. My husband, my perfect Grant. He knew his mother was alive. He's been paying her to stay dead. But why? Why build a fake grave? Why lie to the woman carrying your child? I backed away, but my foot hit an empty soda crate. Crack! The break room door flew open. Evelyn looked at me with pure, unadulterated horror. She didn't look at me like a daughter-in-law. She looked at me like I was already dead. Run, she mouthed. She didn't even use her voice. "Jessica, you have to run. He's been tracking your car since you left the driveway. He never intended for you to leave this town." I didn't ask questions. I bolted. I ran to the parking lot, but when I hit the unlock button on my key fob, nothing. The lights didn't flash. The doors stayed locked.
Listen, he disabled it. He's an architect, but he's also a tech freak. He has the Smart Drive app on his phone. He locked me out of my own car. I'm pulling on the handle of my SUV, and it's like pulling on a brick wall. Grant, please! I'm screaming at the car like he can hear me. And then the screen inside the dash glows, blue light. It says, "The tires are low, Jess. You shouldn't have driven so far." I'm 10 minutes away. He's 10 minutes away. I look at the highway. It's just flat land and cornfields for miles. There's nowhere to go. I ran back to the diner, but the open sign just flicked to closed. Evelyn was locking the front door. She wouldn't look at me. She was terrified for her own life. She pointed toward the motel across the street, the Sleep Well Motel. It looked like a place where people go to disappear. She tossed me a brass key. "Room 12, she whispered through the glass. "It's the only room without a window to the parking lot. Hide, and for God's sake, Jessica, get rid of your phone." But I can't get rid of my phone. It's the only way I can talk to you guys. It's my only witness. I'm running across the asphalt now. My stomach hurts. The baby is kicking so hard. I mean, she knows. She can feel the terror. I'm in room 12. It smells like stale cigarettes and bleach. I've barricaded the door with a flimsy wooden chair. I pulled out my iPad, I keep it in my purse for work, and I accessed our home cloud. I shouldn't have access to Grant's Project X folder, but I'm a designer too. I guessed his password months ago. It was our wedding date. I opened the file. My heart stopped. It wasn't a blueprint for a new client. It was our house, our suburban Chicago home. But the basement? He had added a sublevel that isn't on the city permits. It's a bunker. But it's not for safety. I mean, I'm looking at the specs right now. The doors lock from the outside. The walls are lined with acoustic foam, the kind they use in recording studios, so no sound escapes. And the ventilation? It's separate from the main house. It has its own oxygen supply. There were 2 rooms labeled, E and J, Evelyn and Jessica. He didn't just want a family, he wanted a collection. He's been building a cage for me and the baby for 3 years. He was going to bring Evelyn back and put us both down there. Listen, I'm seeing your comments. Someone from Chicago just said Grant's car was at a rest stop an hour ago. Thank you. Thank you for watching out for me. I just heard a car door slam right outside room 12. Evelyn just slipped through the back maintenance door of the motel. She's shaking so hard she can barely stand. She handed me a manila envelope. "He's here, Jessica. He's at the front desk." I opened the envelope. It was all there. The bank statements. Grant didn't just lose his father. He took out a massive life insurance policy on him, and a year later, the house fire happened. Evelyn survived, but Grant told her if she didn't play dead, he'd make sure she was blamed for the fire. He's been using the insurance money to build his firm, and the grief, the orphan story, that was how he got me. He knew I had a soft heart. He knew I'd never leave a man who'd lost everything. He picks people who are alone. He knew your parents were elderly. He knew you'd have no one to come looking for you. I looked at the wedding photo in the envelope. Grant is smiling at the camera, but his hand is gripping my arm so hard my skin is white under his fingers. I never noticed it then. I thought he was just holding me close. The power in the motel room just flickered. Then it went out. Total darkness. My phone buzzed in my hand. A text from Grant. "Room 12 is a little small for a girl with your taste, Jess. Don't make me use the master key." The door opened. It didn't creak. Grant always says a well-built door should be silent. He stepped in. He didn't look like a monster. He looked like the man I love. He was wearing his favorite cashmere coat. "Jess," he said. His voice was so smooth. It's that voice he uses to win over city council members. "You were supposed to be at the spa in Lake Forest. Why are you in Nebraska talking to ghosts?" I stood my ground. My hand was on my belly. I could feel my daughter's heart racing against mine. "She's not a ghost, Grant, and I'm not a project for your basement." He laughed, a small, dry sound. "The basement is finished, honey. I picked out the organic cotton sheets for the nursery. It's beautiful. No noise, no distractions, just us, forever." He walked toward me. I backed into the small kitchenette table. My hand hit a heavy glass ashtray. "Come home," he said. "We'll tell your parents you had a breakdown, prenatal psychosis. They'll believe me. Everyone believes the man who builds the city." He reached out his hand. He looked so concerned. That's the scariest part. He actually thinks he's saving me.
"You think you're so smart, Grant," I said. My voice was finally steady. "You think you're the only one who knows how to design a system?" He stopped. He looked at my phone. The screen was bright in the dark room. "What are you doing, Jess? Put the phone away." "It's a live stream," I told him. "I've been recording since the diner. 80,000 people just heard you talk about the nursery in the basement. They just heard your mother cry." His face, oh my God, you guys, the mask didn't just slip, it shattered. His eyes went from loving husband to cold steel in a second. "Give me the phone," he snarled. He lunged for me. I didn't hesitate. I swung that glass ashtray with everything I had. It caught him right above the eye. He forgot one thing. I'm a designer. I spent 3 hours in that diner break room setting up a mesh network and a scheduled broadcast. I'm not the girl in the cage, Grant. I'm the one who tore the walls down. The Nebraska State Police were already in the parking lot. They were just waiting for a confession on the stream to move in. It turns out the business conference in Denver was actually a meeting to buy a private airfield. He was planning to take us to a compound in the mountains if the basement ever got compromised. As they led him away, he looked at me. No love, no regret, just calculation. He was already thinking about his lawyers. "I built that house for you," he spat. "No," I said. "You built it for a version of me that didn't have a voice. That version is gone." Evelyn came with me. We drove away in a police escort. The story is everywhere now. The architect of shadows. My parents are in shock, but they're here. They're holding my hand. But wait, there's one more thing. Something the police found in his work phone safe back in Chicago. They found a second set of blueprints in his safe. They weren't for our house. They were for a house in Seattle. He had another wife waiting. Another woman who thought she'd met a grieving orphan. Another nursery with no windows. But Grant is behind bars now. The fraud alone will keep him there for 20 years. The attempted kidnapping, even longer. Evelyn lives with me now. She's finally getting to be a grandmother in the light of day. And my daughter? She has her grandmother's eyes, but she has my spirit. I look at the comments you guys left. Thousands of you. You saved my life. Your engagement, your tips, the way you stayed on that stream, you were my witnesses when I was invisible. If you're trapped, if you feel like something is off in your perfect life, listen to your gut. It's the only thing Grant couldn't build a cage for. Please share this story, not for the views, but for the girl out there who thinks her husband's basement is just under construction. Subscribe for the update next week. We're going to Seattle to meet the other woman. She has no idea how close she came to the dark. I love you guys. Stay loud, stay safe.